Hello and welcome to a Chip Off the Old Block Toys. I'm Jeff, and today I've got a special kind of live stream. Why is it special? Because my channel specifically was invited to the Welsh Festival, and I live in a small town in Malad, and I've been here for about a little over 3 years. And so I like giving back to the community, especially a small community. Initially, I was invited, or my lug was invited to this event probably about a year ago. However, my lug had a show scheduled for the same weekend as the festival. And at the time, I was working full time, so I didn't think I was going to be able to go I thought I would be going to the lug show and not to the Welsh Festival. However, a lot's changed. I don't have a job anymore. So I don't have the finances to do this trip with my lug. So what I'm doing is, I'm instead staying here local, and I'm doing the show here. Now, I kind of forgot about it until today. I was going to the post office. I was right past the park where the festival's at, and they were setting up. And I was like, wait a minute. I know the guy organizing that. So I stopped by his little shop, and I was like, hey, man, are we still invited? And he says, yeah, of course. So I've got 2 days to prepare, and they've specifically asked for a castle scene. I don't have enough time to really set up a battle or anything, so I'm going to do the Mountain Fortress and the Lion's, what do they call it? I'm sorry. The Lion's Castle, the newer one. And I already have the Horseman hideout thing, Stronghold. I just built that, so I haven't wrecked it yet. So I'm going to go ahead and put those 3 in there. Oh, and I also have the Knight's Castle from the 1980s that's still put together. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that, do those 4 castles. And if I have enough time, I'll set up a scene, but I probably won't. And what I'm going to do is break this up. I'm going to build everything on a live stream, but I'm only going to go as far as that piece laid out because it takes so long to fish through these. But I'm going to do that. And hello, Bricksporium, how you doing? Otherwise known as Trevor. Let me switch cameras here. And there we go. All right. Apologize for the microphone being in the way. I'll be right back. Okay. So how are you doing tonight, guys? Oh, hello, Cajun. How you doing? I didn't know you'd be awake. Yeah, this has been a crazy day. I didn't start off the day thinking that I would have an invite to this. In fact, like I said, I totally forgot about it. So I kind of feel like a jerk because the guy who runs it, Kelly, a really cool guy. He owns a flower shop here. And yeah, I totally forgot about it. So just happened to be driving by today and see all that. And I was like, man, I'd really like to be a part of that. And they're going to let me advertise my channel. I do have a QR code for my channel that takes you directly to it on YouTube. So anyway, that should be fun. And looks like I didn't catch the fact there's 2 of these. But here's the other one right there. So I figure why not? A little bit of free advertising for my channel, and also going to give back to my community that I live in. 5 a.m., huh? Yeah, that's a long day, dude. Make you feel a little bit guilty. I didn't wake up until 11 o'clock today. Of course, I can't do that because tomorrow at 11 a.m. I have a job interview. So I'm hoping the job interview goes well. It is just supposed to be a part-time position, so hopefully I'll still have enough time to do the many things I'm trying to do. And yes, Bricksporium, I do have a Bricklink channel. It's in the description. It's called the Chip Off the Old Block. It doesn't have the toys because, well, Bricklink only allows so many characters, and I exceeded those characters limits. And I grabbed the wrong color brick. Let me see if I can find it real quick on this table. This table is a mess. Well, oh, is that okay? I found one. So yeah, these next couple of days are going to be just really out of control compared to my normal schedule, and I know originally I said that I was going to follow a certain schedule on Bricklink, or I mean on YouTube. It got me thinking about Bricklink. But I'm not going to be able to follow that schedule because of all this. So um, this is take priority because I only have 2 days to prep. So, and I was so excited when this set came out. I really like the fact that it's kind of, I mean, they're not fully revisiting the castle theme, but they are putting some castle sets out. In fact, I think this is a much higher quality than the castle sets from a different age, if you know what I mean. I think these are much better. Of course, Legos have evolved the pieces. There's newer pieces, newer colors. There's a whole lot that's different these days that allows there to be a lot better of everything. So it kind of works both ways. I did have to scramble to get ready for my interview. What I mean by that is I am not excited to tell you, but I will just tell you, I tried wearing my own pants that I have that are dress pants, and I've gained so much weight that, well, unless you want to see an elephant struggling, that wasn't a good idea. So anyway, I ran to Walmart, which is about 45 minutes away. I got myself a nice pair of pants, brand new, right size. It was kind of funny because the gal that works at Walmart, when I told her I needed a dressing room, she just kind of looked at me like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, because I guess guys don't go there a lot. I don't know. That was my guess. She didn't say that, but I'm kind of wondering if that's what she was thinking. But I was able to get the right size pants, tried them on, and I might as well have gone to a tent maker. They're huge, but that's me. I guess I could spin that as just being larger than life, right? Oh, I grabbed the wrong, going the wrong way. Okay, well that's going to be a problem. But oh my goodness, I didn't even get all the pieces for that. Okay, well, silly me. And this is going to be a hard build because this table is not that big. So I've got a lot of pieces just kind of floating everywhere. We can go ahead and put this guy up. And just as I say that, if you guys can, thank you for that. I appreciate that, Rick Thorne. I hope the interview goes well as well. I'm actually kind of surprised because I did the paperwork for it and within 2 days they sent me a thing for an interview. So I was actually pleasantly surprised that it went that way. Okay, that's going to be a problem. I need that piece. I'm going to have to do some fishing here, or I'm going to have to end the screen here and pick it back up when I've got more pieces lined up. But this is not a very long, only 10 minutes, but that's all the room I had on the table. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to keep going. I am going to have to fish pieces for some because I just don't have them laid out. And like I said, I just didn't have the room to lay them out. I don't normally open up this many bags. And yeah, this is not going to work. I definitely need those pieces. So let me see what I can conjure up here. I need one of these little wedges and another wedge here. Well, I found one of them. So we do have the wall piece here. And I can at least attach it. How does this go? There, okay. I still need this little wedge piece here. And this is going to be tough to find because it's not a single layer of pieces. It's because this is almost 4,500 pieces, it's just all over the place. Ah, wrong wedge. Dang it. Oh, I think I found it. I sure did. Awesome. I was about ready to end the stream because I couldn't find it, but there you have it. So now we need 4 little flowers. Those should be, even though they're small, if you build with Legos, when you're looking for small pieces, just go to the bottom of the pile. They always seem to work their way down to the bottom of every pile I've ever looked at with Lego. So, okay. Well, let's see. We got that. Had this coolest thing happen to me at Brick World. A little kid came up to look at my build and asked me for my autograph. Made the entire experience of just playing. That is so awesome. You know, and I hope that kid holds on to that autograph. And I really do, because that sounds really special. And honestly, I really do think that's special. In all the shows that I've ever been to, no one's ever asked me for my autograph. And I've been to a lot of shows. So that is definitely a mark of accomplishment, something to be very proud of. So I need a couple pieces that I cannot find. I think this should be, this hobby should be renamed, the more you fish, the more you find. Okay, so we've got this little section built here, and let's see, what is coming up next? As long as I don't have to fish too long for pieces, I'll keep going. But if it gets to a point where finding pieces is extremely hard, I'll just end the stream, look for more pieces, and then come back when I have more laid out. But right now, it seems like the process of finding pieces is okay. And the thing about building a large set like this, what I call reaching the point of critical mass, and I know it's not really a thing, but when you have all these pieces laid out, at first it's very hard to find the pieces, but as you find pieces and you place them on the build, there's less pieces on the board, so it's easier to find them. So you just got to get over that initial, you know, like whatever you want to call it, initial hump of things, the critical mass, as I was saying. In case anybody's wondering, Mrs. Chip is not going to be here tonight. In her part of the world, she is asleep. And she doesn't even know I'm doing this stream, so I'm doing it behind her back. Imagine that. I'm just kidding. It's not like that. You know, she's got to work in the morning, and so I didn't even plan on doing this stream, so she doesn't even know about it to be here. So that's coming up in the next step. So let's see if we can find the rest of these pieces. Was not expecting that all to happen. I cheered up with, hey, you know what? That was awesome. I think I would have too, to be honest. That is a very tender moment. Oh, there's the other one. Okay. And I think it's just awesome, man. One of my favorite things to do, or to see, I should say, is when my lug does a show. I love it when kids come up with plexiglass, because we use plexiglass around the whole thing to keep it protected. And I love when kids come up and push their nose up against it, because they want to like see it so bad. It's always the coolest thing. So, all right. Yeah, switch around these pieces. I'm sorry. I know it gets loud. But ever since I've been a wee kid, there's something about swishing around Lego pieces that I find mesmerizing. Some of the pieces are really easy to find, but then others, like, It's usually the smaller ones that are hard to find. And I say that I'm looking for a 1x4 arch. It's not sticking out to me. There it is. Okay, so we built a table, some kind of shelf here, and I'm not sure if we're building stairs or not. I can't remember. It's been a hot minute since I built this one. I think this one came out about 2 years ago. So I built it, I put it on my shelf, and then later on decided to resurrect it because of the fact that, I wrecked it, and then I resurrected it specifically for the show. And that's awesome. That's Brick World Chicago, and that's the one that just happened, I presume. I saw some videos online. I will say this. I wish I could have been there, and I'm hoping that in the next year or two, I make enough money off of this channel to be able to go to more shows besides ones that my blood goes to. But as of right now, that's all I can do. It's just the local shows around here. So if my fortunes change, I will definitely let everyone know. Well, actually, I won't, but there will be some. Okay. It does look like I have to look for a few more pieces here. I found one of them. Maybe I should just stand up and stay standing up, huh? Well, I found one of the pieces that was missing for the last one. So I'm looking for a candlestick and its flame. It's too bad I can't just run downstairs. I literally have thousands of them, but there is one in the bag somewhere. And just in case you guys are wondering, let me turn the camera to see what I'm dealing with. So this right here is the pieces that I'm dealing with, and I will go ahead and put it back on here. Yes, I'm going to not do the stay away. Looks like I dropped a few pieces. Well, I don't feel like the candlestick missing is really going to make that much of a difference. So I'm just going to keep going because it's accessible from the side here, and even when it closes up, it'll still be accessible. So I'm just going to ignore missing that for now. 125,000 square foot, 1,900 displayers, 2,900 displays. Definitely did not see everything. That sounds like a really good time. And I will have to see about going next year. I really hope that I'm able to. If you don't mind sharing, what was the cost like to go there? That also depends on whether I can go or not, depending on the cost. And if I had an idea, it gives me an idea what to save for. Let's see, what is this? Okay. All right, now we need this weird, funny looking thing. And it does not have the brick inside of it, so well, I found the fountain little piece, a little water. For each ticket was 120. I have no idea of the hotel room cost or any of the expenses. I was at 20 minutes from the convention center. I couldn't justify taking the lodging there. Yeah. Okay. Well, it gives me an idea. $120 isn't a bad price for a whole week event. It's actually pretty good in my opinion. Okay, well, I found one of the pieces I was missing. I am certainly not past that critical mass that I was talking about when building a large set. Okay, I'm missing a few pieces here. As I said, I did lay out as many pieces as I had room for once I dumped all this, and as you can see, there wasn't much room left over. Okay, good. Because these other pieces can be added later, really. I do know a good amount of can stay at other nearby hotels. Yeah, I actually know someone who goes every year, and I think I know him well enough that we could split the cost. But I mean, obviously, I can't speak for him. I've got to get with him and see what his feelings are on that. And then again, if there's any train shows going on, I might be able to get my dad to go. He loves train shows. In fact, I don't know. I've shared this story a few times, but I don't know if you've heard it. Who hasn't? When it comes to finding nut lug, the lug I belong to, I found them because of my dad. I was helping my dad with one of his shows, and Nutlug was also invited to that show. And so they invited me behind the plexiglass and started talking to them, and they seemed like an all right group. And so I actually ended up joining them. And I still remember the event. It was the Children's Museum, Discovery Museum in Salt Lake City was the event. I'm pretty sure the Renaissance where the convention takes place can be pricey. Yeah. Well, usually anything that I've ever seen with the word Renaissance on it is pricey. And I don't mean it as a joke, I really mean that. It's always kind of been that way. Well, hopefully, I don't have to keep fishing for too much longer, but as of right now, it looks like I have to. Just can't seem to find the pieces that easily. Say that, and then immediately I find a few. All right. Well, I am making some progress, just slow progress. Is this the short? Yes, it is. Okay. Okay. So I will say that I don't talk about this much, but I have to admit that the last 2 years has been very frustrating because I had a really good job for the longest time, 9 years, and I was let go, not fired, laid off, and ever since that time, I just had a heck of a time finding a job. I did find a job within a month and a half of losing that job of 9 years, but unfortunately, it didn't last very long. The ladies that I worked with were, well, I was friends with one of them. The other one I kind of knew, but not really. And what had happened was, it was a brand new company. I was told that if I stuck around and got my CPA, I do have an accounting degree, that they would make me a supervisor. And I was only there about 2 months, and the two gals decided but they were not compatible to do business with each other, and they dissolved the business. And I went with one of the partners, and it was a partner that I didn't know very well. And unfortunately, she had some deep-rooted problems, and I mean, like mental problems, emotional problems, and she was open about having them, but that didn't help any because she refused to get any help for them. And so I just kind of was expected to deal with it. I dealt with it for about 6 months, and after that, I couldn't, guys. I really tried, but the constant back and forth, because she will admit it herself, or maybe she won't now, but at the time, she told me that she was had bipolar disorder, but refused to take medication for it. Well, as you can imagine, dealing with somebody with bipolar disorder every day, it does not take very long for that to get old, especially when it's untreated. And she had huge mood swings, did not mind letting me have it on the days that she was having a bad day. I lasted 6 months. I really needed the job, and after that, I couldn't do it. I quit. I talked to my wife about it and told her, I said, there's no way I can do it. And my wife's like, I want you to quit. She's like, I'm tired of you being stressed out. And I was tired of being stressed out, so I quit. And then I got a job at the good old IRS. And that didn't last very long either, because with the new administration came changes, and I found myself out of a job again. So these last 2 years have been more fun than I really care to have, to be honest. But I can't complain too loudly. The opposite of that has been there have been a lot of blessings, and so you take the good with the bad, I guess. And I'm kind of getting frustrated with this because I am missing a ton of pieces, and I've kind of gone as far as I can without some pieces, but I am certainly to the point where I can't cover this up until I get that piece, and I'm not finding that piece. And there's tons of them. Maybe there's one over here. No, there's not. I have a little spare pile over here. Did you hear that the ruler factory announced they won't be making them any longer? Really? No, I did not. Is that a joke? And if it is, punchline, please. Oh, I get it. They won't make them any longer. All right. Sorry, I'm slow. Well, I found a piece I was missing earlier. But that's not an important piece. Well, and there's the old joke about, the person in the Bible who didn't have any parents, and that was Joshua. He was the son of Nun. Anyway, dumb joke, but a joke nonetheless. And one of the things that my dad used to like to say to me when I told him jokes was he would tell me that that joke was as old as Moses' toes and twice as corny, whatever that means. I do it. Okay, so I did find, I'm still missing some pieces. I'm going to see if I can kind of move on without finding them. We'll see. Toxic work environments definitely aren't worth it. Even if the pay is good, you have to have a good environment as well. And thank you. That's exactly where I was coming from. The pay was really low because it was using my accounting degree. So I could not complain about that. However, the work environment was just hellacious. And I mean, I don't hate the lady I worked with. I honestly felt like she was doing the best that she could. But that doesn't matter. I can't operate with what was going on. And I'll tell you, okay, I'll tell you the big thing that happened that got me to reconsider working for her altogether. All right, so there was a day where she was having a bad day, and she really laid into me. And she told me that, hey, you know, you're not being very productive. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, stuff's not getting done. And I said, oh, I almost said her first name. Oops, I don't want to say her first name. So I said to her, I said, well, I don't feel that way. I said, I do everything you ask me to do, and I do it how you tell me to do it. And because I was out of accounting for 9 years because I went over to IT. And so since AI could do my job in IT, I decided not to look for an IT job. I decided to look for you know, something in accounting where AI can't do it very well. So anyway, the pay was good, and she told me that I was wasting time. And I asked her, I said, well, how do you feel like I'm wasting time? And she said, well, sometimes I tell you to do stuff and it doesn't get done. And I said, well, oops, I said her name. I said, look, that's not really fair. I said, you oftentimes give me directions on how to do something, and then you later find out that's not how it's supposed to be done, and therefore, I have to do it again according to your new instructions. And she says, well, I don't care. What I want you to do is keep a spreadsheet, and I want you to keep careful track of every client you work on, how much time you spend, what you're doing for that client, and all that. And I said, okay, I'm not going to argue with the boss. I mean, she is the boss. So I went ahead and I kept that spreadsheet for 4 days. And then she says, well, let's review the spreadsheet after 4 days. Okay, no problem. So I did. And I determined through my record keeping that I spent 24% of my day on Zoom calls with her. And I mentioned that to her. And I said that, you know, when we're on these Zoom calls, we're not necessarily talking about work. We're talking about everything. Because she has, one of her daughters was autistic. And so this daughter caused her a lot of grief. And so she always wanted to talk about it. And I mean, I didn't know what to tell her, you know. So I would just listen and be like, okay. And I did think it was kind of odd, but I mean, she's the one paying me. So if you want to pay me to listen to your problems, I guess I can become a part-time therapist, even though I'm no good at it. So I just listened, and I was spending 24% of the time of my day talking to her. And when I mentioned it, she says, well, you shouldn't call me so much. And I said, Megan, or yeah, I just said her name. Oops. But anyway, I said, Megan, I kept track of that too. And I haven't called you once over the last 4 days. And she said, well, that's impossible. Of course you have. And I said, nope. And I switched my screen over to Zoom. And I showed her exactly the amount of time that I spent talking to her. And I showed her that every single call was incoming, not outgoing. So I never called her. And she went ballistic on me and yelled at me, told me that she was going to fire me because I was being insubordinate and that I wasn't listening and that I was lying and all that. And I said, look, you've got to log on to your side. Please take a look at it and get back to me, and you'll see that you're the one that's been calling me, and we talk about things that are not related to the job, and that's causing problems. And she said, well, I'm going to have to think about whether you're still employed here, your job's in jeopardy, blah, blah. And that night, I went home, I called my wife, told her what happened, and my wife's like, look, just quit. She's like, I don't care how much it hurts us financially, just quit. She's like, I'm done with you working there. It's too much stress, just leave. And so I did. I quit the job right then and there. And I've never looked back, and I don't regret it. I thought I would regret it, to be honest. I thought for sure that it was going to make for tough times and all that, but it actually didn't make for tough times. Blessings came, and financially we were able to make it during those few months. So I don't complain about that. It just kind of, even though it was a tough time, it worked itself out. I really need that piece there. So hopefully I find it here. Humor becomes a dad joke when it becomes apparent. That's pretty good. A parent, huh? Uh-oh. I just heard hit the ground over there. So I am going to break out my spare parts bin, and this thing, oh no, it's got it has print on it. Porter, what is up? How you doing, man? I'm going to rename this the Lego Insomniac channel. I'm purely joking about that, but I mean, there is some consideration for that because I'm always up late. Let me put it this way. If YouTube ever bans this channel, I'm going to reopen my channel as the Lego Insomniac or Insomnia Legos or something like that. You know, this is really frustrating that I can't find this one piece that's keeping me from being able to go higher right here. Maybe I should just see if I could keep going, even though I kind of don't want to. But, okay. Gotcha. Okay, so I found one piece. So, I think I've looked enough for that piece, and I am not going to find it unless I really tear this apart. And I don't want to keep you guys here kind of waiting for that. So I think what I'm going to do, since we've been doing this for about an hour, I'm going to go ahead and terminate the stream here. But what I am going to do is find all the missing pieces and put them on here. And then when I've got more laid out, I'm going to come back and we're going to work on this some more. I say that, and then here I go find the candlestick. So let me go ahead and, that's pretty tricky, so I should have not have done that, because now the way you put this in is just extremely difficult. Because I don't have a direct angle on it. Hi, Gertie. I'm dog sitting right now. And I've got a great pair of knees here, along with Enzo, which I don't think you can see Enzo this time. So let me go ahead and tear this down just a little bit. Because I cannot locate that. I think what I want to do too is I think I want to let Gertie out. She's whining, and Gertie is mostly an outdoor dog at my sister's place, and I don't make Gertie stay outside when she's here. She gets to stay inside just like we do. So when I first dog sat her, she wasn't housebroken, which I think you can imagine as a great pair of knees what a disaster that can be with her not being housebroken. And believe me, it wasn't any fun. However, Gertie's a good old chap, and or gal, whatever you want to say. And she has learned to be housebroken around me and my son. She actually was a pretty fast learner, but she's definitely signaling to me that she wants to go out, which usually means if I don't take care of that, I'm going to have a literal mess on my hands. So let me go ahead and just put a few of the pieces on here. And then I'm going to terminate the stream, put Gertie out, and then I'll be back when I've found everything that's missing so far and some more pieces laid out. Maybe about an hour before I come back. And if you're still around, hey, I'd love to have you. But other than that, this concludes part one of getting ready for the Malad Welsh Festival for 2025, which starts this Friday. You guys have a great time, and I'll be back in a little bit.